Hey everybody, what is going on? This is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel, and this isn't the daily vlog series. This is actually a Time Carnage video. Time Carnage VR is currently available for PlayStation VR, Oculus Rift, and HTC Vive. I believe it retails for $20 on all three of these platforms. If you are a PlayStation Plus member, you can get the game for $15.99, but I'm not sure if that is still in effect or if that has already expired. But basically, what I thought I would do in regards to discussing this game, Time Carnage, is I thought, you know what, I'm going to talk about the 5 best things about Time Carnage, and I'm going to talk about the 5 worst things about Time Carnage, and we'll kind of do like a head-to-head deal. So number 5 versus number 5, number 4 versus number 4, till we get down to number 1. And so I'm going to start off with the 5th worst thing about Time Carnage, and basically I'd probably have to say the game is too easy, okay? And so my complaint on this is that I've been working my way through this game pretty quickly, and I'm not very good at these games. I usually, it usually takes me a long time to get through these games. I usually will start playing a game like this, and I'll be in like the 2nd level where other people are in like the 5th or 6th level or something like that. Usually I'm pretty slow. I'm not Mr. Gamer Dude that is like super good at all of these games. I'm okay. I'm not bad. Like I'm halfway decent, but I'm usually not the greatest player. But in Time Carnage VR, I seem to be working my way through this game pretty damn quickly. Now, the good news is there's a lot of content, so it doesn't really matter how quickly you work your way through it, but there could be some people out there that get their hands on this game and they'll probably enjoy the game, but they might be like, oh man, this is too easy. Now, there are multiple difficulty levels, so you could try one of the other difficulties and that might work out well for you. Okay, so let's get to the 5th best thing about the game. And on the best side, I will talk about there are lots of weapons to unlock. So basically, when you get into this game, you have these 4 pedestals that are placed in front of you, and it's kind of a 180-degree situation. It's like a half circle. You're standing on this big circle, but the game basically takes place 180 degrees, and you have these 4 pedestals, and you could put any gun that you want on any of these pedestals. You have to unlock the gun. So in the beginning, you only start out with a handful of different guns, but you could grab a pistol and you could put the pistol on all 4 platforms, or you could grab the shotgun and you could put the shotgun on all 4 platforms, or you can mix and match whatever way you like. And then as you go through this game and as you get through these different levels, you're gonna unlock all kinds of different guns. You're going to unlock a flamethrower. You're going to unlock some type of like grenade launching thing. You're going to unlock these sniper rifles. You're going to unlock all kinds of different machine guns. And so there's tons of weapons. So I think that's really cool. Okay, so let's get to the 4th worst thing about Time Carnage. And the fourth worst thing is that the guns, while there's a lot of them, they don't really have a strong visceral kick to the guns, okay? So if you've played Arctica 1 on the Oculus Rift, you know what a visceral kick is all about. The best thing probably about Arctica 1 is you start firing these guns and it's like bam, bam, bam. I mean, you really feel that visceral kick. And with Time Carnage, now I don't know if this is a PlayStation VR thing and it has to do with the Move controllers that you're using and maybe the rumble. I'm not sure if it's a PSVR thing, but there isn't that visceral kick with the guns. However, I will say that on some of the submachine guns, there's kind of this, there's kind of that kind of feel to the rumble that is actually pretty good. It's a subtle rumble. It's not the bang, bang, bang rumble, but there is that subtle rumble that is pretty good, but the guns don't have this overwhelming kick to them. So I would go ahead and call that the 4th biggest negative. Now, the 4th best thing about this game, I'm going to say the sound. There's actually some really good sound design in this game overall. One thing I got to say about this game is play it loud. Okay, you remember the old Nintendo slogan back in the 90s, play it loud, I think was their slogan, right? That's what you want to do with Time Carnage. You want to turn that volume up. Now, every once in a while, it might be a little bit overbearing, but you really want to play with the volume at a really high level because it adds an extra element to this game. In fact, there are some very big creatures that will come out at different times in this game. But before you even see them, you're going to hear them and you'll actually start to get scared. Like you'll literally get scared with some of these sound effects because they're so loud and it's like just a really visceral thing. And you'll hear this boom, 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 you know, coming around a corner. You're like, oh shit, something really big is about to come. And sometimes when the monster actually does come, it's not as impressive as the sound effect makes it seem to be. And the sound effect will actually make it seem even more impressive than it is, but there's still really good sound effects. And then also like the voices, your shields. The time travel thing that's going on and some of the other little special effects there, just lots of good sound. I would say overall the sound is pretty damn good. The music is maybe a little bit mediocre. It's good and bad, but really it's the sound effects I'm talking about. Okay, so let's get to the third worst thing about Time Carnage. And I would say the third worst thing is many of the enemies are pretty freaking lame. Yeah, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to get into these different levels and you're going to be in these different time periods. And in the different time periods, you have a different collection of enemies. And some of the enemies are just kind of lame. There's really no way of getting around that. Now, on the good side is, well, basically, I'll say it like this. If all the enemies were lame, I probably would have stopped playing this game. So there are good enemies, but some of them are kind of lame and uninspired. And so, you know, it's just one of those things. Like when you get to the robot stage, there's this one era where you're kind of like in the future. I think it's the 6th millennium or something like that. And there's like robots and it's kind of neon. And it's actually kind of a cool level in terms of like the sound effects and the visual looks. But the robots, there's not enough different versions of the robots. They should have really stepped up with that as far as I'm concerned. So I'd say some of the enemies are pretty lame. So let's go ahead and get to the third best thing about Time Carnage. And the third best thing is there's a lot of variety here. This is a wave shooter. Yes, it is a wave shooter, but man, there's a lot of variety. There are 4 different eras. Time eras that you're going to travel to. There's the 4th millennium, there's the Mesozoic era, there's the 6th millennium, and then there's the 4th century. So you got these 4 different eras, but then each of these eras have 4 different maps. And then, so that's 16 maps right there. And then when you get into each individual map has 10 stages that you have to go through. So there's really a lot of content, and there's a lot of different backdrops. And some of the maps are kind of lame, and some of the backdrops are kind of lame, but some of them are really freaking good. And some of them look pretty damn good. And so, there's a lot of variety there. So I really like that. I would say that was the third best feature of Time Carnage. Okay, so let's get to the second worst thing about Time Carnage. And basically this one, at the end of the day, this is a wave shooter. So even though I really like it, even though I find myself drawn to this game and I keep wanting to play this game, it's kind of similar to me like In Death. Remember when I got into In Death and then it was like, man, I can't stop playing this game In Death. Well, Time Carnage has kind of turned into that game for me, but at the end of the day, it's still a freaking wave shooter. So you might have the best wave shooter in the world, and I think this is actually a really damn good wave shooter, but it's still a wave shooter. So there's going to be some people out there, it doesn't matter how good Time Carnage is, it's a wave shooter and they're just done with wave shooters. And I completely understand that. Okay, so let's get to the second best thing in Time Carnage. Now, this one is kind of PlayStation VR specific, but I'm sure it kind of feels the same way on the Rift and Vive as well. And so the thing about this game is basically what I'll say is it feels like you're playing a room scale game, even though, there's no room scale really on PlayStation VR, but it really feels like you're playing a room scale game. And so this is how I'm going to explain it. So basically in this game, it's not like your individual body is transporting through time and then boom, you land, you're naked like in Terminator, and you land in the middle of a parking lot and you're just a naked man huddled in a ball, like soaking wet with like time slime all over him or whatever. It's not like that. When you transport through time, you're on this large circular platform that is probably like 10 feet, and you're standing in the middle of this circular platform. But the thing about it is, like I said, you got these 4 pedestals in front of you with guns on these 4 pedestals. And what's going to happen in this game is you're going to learn how to grab the guns and put the guns back. And once you get a really good feel for this, you're going to be grabbing the games. You're going to be grabbing the guns and you're going to be like, bam, 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 bam. You're going to feel real good, man. I have to kind of back up because I'm going to smack into this right here. So I'm going to back up a little bit. But when you're in this game, you're standing on this circular area. You got these 4 platforms here. And what you can do, the cool thing about it is you could have like 2 machine guns on these pedestals and then 2 shotguns on these pedestals. And so you always know that you can just take your controllers and bam, you grab 2 shotguns, or you got your machine guns here and you just go bam, you grab 2 machine guns. And so you're going to be in this game and you're going to feel like a badass for during certain times of this game, because you're going to grab 2 machine guns and you're going to be like bam, 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 shooting your machine guns like crazy, and you're going to feel really good about it. Now you're just standing in one spot and you're just doing like this and it's just 180 degrees. But there's something about like these pedestals and there's something about this big circular platform that you're standing on that even though I'm playing this on PSVR and I might be like in this small little tiny area and I'm not moving anywhere, I feel like I'm in like a room scale game. And it's because I can grab my shotguns and then bam, bam, bam with my shotguns and grab the machine guns and then put it back and switch and go to this one and go to that gun. And basically that's what's going to happen in this game is you're going to get a real good feel for the gameplay and switching the guns and it's going to feel really good, man. The freaking game mechanics in this game are really on another level. Okay, so let's see, I did the second worst thing. At the end of the day, it is a wave shooter. Okay, so what is the absolute worst thing about Time Carnage? And this could be a PlayStation VR specific thing. Again, I'm playing this on PlayStation VR. I actually didn't even know the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive versions were available right now. I thought there was that 1 month delay, how, we always get these 1 month delays, like a game will hit PlayStation VR and then you got to wait a month and then it hits Rift and Vive later. But I guess this is available everywhere. So Whales Interactive, if you guys want to send me another, if you want to send VR Game Rankings a code, send me an Oculus code, because I'd love to see, are the graphics better? Because my number one complaint is chunky soup, baby. It is pixelated as hell. These graphics, it's like Drive Club VR of wave shooters, So if you've ever played Drive Club VR on PlayStation VR, you know that everything is pixelated. Everything kind of has that Vaseline smear to it. And it's like the Aliasing or whatever, or I don't know if I'm saying that right, because I used to say anti-aliasing, alicine, I don't know, whatever. But whatever it is freaking chunky. It is pixelated. If you are a graphics whore and you have a PlayStation VR setup, you don't want this game because it is chunky. But if you can get over the fact that the graphics are chunky and pixelated, it actually can look very good at times. There's some backgrounds, there's some backdrops that can look really good. There's some monsters that can look really good as well. But some of it does look kind of like, oh man, I'm playing a PlayStation 3 game, So it's kind of weird how the graphics are. I'm curious on like an Oculus Rift or a Vive, like if you could super sample the hell out of this game, and if the graphics were crystal clear, oh shit, this game would be even better, because the biggest negative without question is the chunky graphics. Okay, so now we're at the point where it's the biggest positive. What is the biggest single positive about Time Carnage? And it's 3 letters. Fun. F-U-N. Fun, man. It is just freaking fun. It's very similar to In Death in that way, where it's like sometimes, remember, why do we play video games in the first place? We're so worried about thinking, oh, is it immersive? Does it do this? Does it do that? At the end of the day, did you have any goddamn fun? That's really what it comes down to. And Time Carnage, I like to say this quote a lot, it is fun on a stick. Time Carnage is just fun. My 18-year-old son, Kevin, I've been getting them, my 2 boys, I've been getting them to play Wipeout VR, and they'll come to me and they'll be like, Dad, I want to play Wipeout VR. And, I'll set it up so they can play Wipeout VR. And because they were playing Wipeout VR, and because Time Carnage is also on PlayStation VR, I told my son Kevin, I was like, hey man, you should try this game Time Carnage. It's like dinosaurs and you're in different time periods. It's pretty cool. Try it out. And he loves it as well. It's just freaking fun because, it's really, I guess I could say half of it is fun and half of it is the freaking play mechanic. It's the reload mechanic. It's grabbing the weapons. It's those 4 pedestals. It's the strategy of how am I going to do this? What guns am I going to put where? What weapon am I going to grab? Which one am I going to put back and reload? Your shields are recharging. It's the gameplay mechanics, man. This is a wavy ass wave shooter, like I said in that other show. But man, it is a good wavy ass wave shooter. That it might have the best play mechanics of any wave shooter I've played. And what's crazy about this? Upload VR gave this game a 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10 Upload. What is wrong with y'all? Do you guys actually play these freaking games? Because I'm a gamer, man, and this game is not a 4 out of 10. Now, it might be a 4 out of 10 in graphics or something, and the enemies, some of the enemies are lame, some of the guns are like pea shooters. Yeah, there's a lot of complaints, but the fun factor, when you really learn how to grab a weapon, put it back, and when you learn that mechanic, and when you start mixing your weapons around, and you decide which guns are your go-to guns, which guns do certain things, which guns you save for like close combat when these raptors and these triceratops are like right up on you. There's certain guns like the flamethrower works really good for something that is right up in your face. And then when they're hella far away, there's this like sniper rifle that you can use. And really there's just so much play mechanics going on here. And so basically bottom line, I really, really like this game, Time Carnage, and I continue to play this game, Time Carnage. It's $20. It's a wave shooter. We've got a million of them. All of us have a lot of wave shooters. And I got to admit, if I didn't get this key, I would have never bought this game. Like, even if somebody raved about it to me, I probably still wouldn't have bought it, because I would have watched a video or something. I'd be like, yeah, okay, it's a good game, but it's a freaking wave shooter, man. How good can wave shooters be? But no, this game is good. This game is a surprise. This game it's got a lot going on, man. I would love to try this on the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive just to see, does it look better? PSVR actually works very well with this game, other than the looks. I wonder if at some point Wells Interactive, if they might have a PS4 Pro patch, because I'm guessing there is not a Pro patch. It might make the game look a little bit better, and that's really the number one complaint. And if you can get this game looking crystal clear on a Rift or a Vive, that's my number one complaint, and then that complaint would go away, and really it would be just, there would be some nitpicks, but mostly this game is on target. So anyway, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this kind of review, I guess you could call it, of Time Carnage, the 5 best things about Time Carnage, the 5 worst things about Time Carnage. And basically, like I said in that other video, VR Game Rankings, the YouTube channel, we are not dead. We are going to continue. There will still be videos like this one, and other videos are going to come down the line as well. Basically, whatever I'm like super, super passionate about, like one single topic, I'm probably going to do a video like this. And I'm passionate about Time Carnage VR because it's all I've been freaking playing. So I can freaking talk about this game for a while. And that's what I did in this episode. But anyway, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Later.